You once told me creating successfully on social media is making what people want.
Yeah.
Break that down. How do you find out what people want? How do you create what people want? Because that's an easy thing to say and it's a hard thing to do.
How do you find what people want?
Yeah.
The answer is so easy that you wouldn't believe it.
Okay. Tell me.
Open the social media platform, see what has the most likes, see what has the most views. That's what people want the most.
You're a man of few words. Which is actually good. I've heard the less words you speak, the more your words mean.
I hope so.
Well, and that is basic economics. The more of a currency you have, the less it's worth. The less words you have, the more it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
So you're.
That's epic.
But I need to get more out of you. Let's say, hypothetically, I have a granola bar brand.
Yep.
And I come Chris Hawkins. No one on TikTok cares about granola bars. Maybe some health people, but how would I go about me? I have a granola bar. I want to make this. I want to have videos that get lots of views. I want to sell my product. Where do I start?
Well, first off, it would be stupid to create a business that no one wants. So people do want granola bars. The question is, are they on TikTok or are they somewhere else? So figure out where your target audience is. First define who your target audience is, then figure out where they are, then figure out what type of content they want to see and integrate your product into the type of content they want to see.
Okay, so let's do it. I want to do the whole exercise. We got the granola bar. For the purposes of this video, we're going to assume it's a good granola bar.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, it's a Cliff bar, an RX bar. It's healthy, tastes good. All right, let's be very specific. Everyone knows what a Cliff bar is. Let's say we have a Cliff bar.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know what my target audience is?
Well, you should just know. In the real world, you should know that before you ever create a product.
And so we'll take like the general, because that target audience already exists. So what would that be? But that's a very broad target audience though, because everyone from kids to adults
Cliff bar.
eat Cliff.
Yeah, they definitely target like nature people though, like hikers.
Hikers, athletes.
Yeah, I'd say like mainly hikers or so. Not so much athletes.
I know it was created by marathon runners.
Oh, was it?
It was created.
Maybe you're right.
Bikers. I do think they also target moms in the sense of like buying it for their kids.
Yeah, they might.
It's like a healthy snack. That's what I think Cliff bars are kind of a healthy snack. Okay, but for the purpose of this experiment, let's say it's moms buying it for their kids. We can get pretty specific. Now, how do I go about creating content for moms who like healthy food for their kids?
You have to figure out what type of content moms are watching. So, figure out what they're watching.
How?
How do you figure out what they're watching?
Yeah.
You go on social media, or just think about what the role of a mom's life is and what type of problems they might have. And just literally search up the problem on Instagram, Google, YouTube, TikTok, wherever. And just find the problems that get the most amount of views. And then it would be best if it had something to do with food. So like, what should I feed my baby? Or like...
So, would you go on TikTok? So first you would start off with the mental experiment. So you'd say, all right, what are the biggest problems that moms have? And would you be able to give it?
In the real world, you should do this before you even create the business. Like we're working backwards right now. You should figure out the problem and then create a product that solves that problem in the first place.
Okay. But I'm trying to go from the perspective of like brands are handing you, like you've been handed brands before. And then they'll provide you more information than I'm giving you right now.
So I don't know anything about moms. So this is like, it's not an amazing example, but like, let's say if we use like a hiker, like outdoor people.
Yeah.
So like, think of it from this perspective. Like if you wanted to do a brand deal with Cliff Bar and all their target audience was hikers, you would hit up a bunch of hikers who have authority in the space and tell them to promote the product. So like the closest you could get to that while creating your own content is become an authority in the hiking space, so they know, like, and trust you, and then you just stick your product in there.
Interesting. Could you give an example of a company that you have, I don't know if you're allowed to, but could you give an example of a company that like you went through these steps?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was working with a exploring social media app that was all about exploring cool places and meeting other people that explore. And I had the best exploring content in the game already in my camera roll. So I just used my old content and made an ad. Like, I was exploring all these crazy places and people will like have never seen them before. The footage was crazy. You could tell I was an authority figure in the space just from a single video. So they had already built that trust up. And at the end, I just promote the ad or promote the product. I'm like, yo, if you want to be like me, download the app.
Okay. Interesting. Let's get into specifically, you've had a lot of ideas that are, actually, first tell them why you don't believe in virality.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. Yeah. Virality doesn't exist because it's completely subjective. One time I had someone comment on one of my TikToks. They're like, go on the TikTok website. TikTok classifies virality as 50 million views. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? First off, it doesn't say that. Second off, where do you get that number from? Like, Charli D'Amelio getting 1 million views is completely different from a
Cliff Bar getting 1 million.
Cliff Bar getting 1 million views, because Charli D'Amelio's audience is like the whole world. So like 1 million views would actually be nothing to her because she's targeting so many people. But let's say you're only targeting 2 million people and you get 1 million views, and that's insanely viral. So like, how are you gonna say what is viral or not? You're only meeting certain demands. Like, there's only such thing as supply and demand. So more or less views. Like, there's no, it went viral.
And I think another thing on that topic is that not all views are created equally. If I put a product in front of 1 million viewers on TikTok, it's not going to sell as much as a product in front of 1 million viewers on YouTube. It's not going to sell as much as a product with 1 million viewers on podcasts. Generally, this is assuming these people all have the same credibility, authority.
Yeah. Depends on the product, but yeah.
Usually. And there's so many layers to it. So first, it matters on the creators, like how much authenticity they have. Like, do I trust you? Because I'm not going to buy something. If a random person shows up on my feed and I have no relationship with them, why would I trust a product they're putting on? And that's not saying that TikTokers don't sell anything. They do. But if I'm committing to a whole podcast, chances are I have much more trust in someone if I'm giving them 2 hours of my time rather than 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Then again, it still varies by who the creator is, what the content is. So there's just so many reasons why views aren't created equally. Like 1 million views for Charli D'Amelio probably wouldn't sell as much as 1 million views for Cliff Bar. But again, it's what audience does it hit. The point I'm trying to make is that there's a ton of factors that go into it, and that's why virality is kind of a skewed word.
Yeah, like when you're creating content, you should never even think of that. It's a waste of time. It's just a distraction. It's a shiny object syndrome.
So what?
Like, forget about it.
What are the things you should think about when creating content?
To deserve something, to deserve a lot of views, you have to serve a lot of people.
Yeah.
Think about that. Spend all of your time thinking about that. It's the only thing you should think about. And that is called marketing on social media. And then the other thing you should think about is just sales. So like how to fluently or smoothly promote your product while giving them what they also want. Like how to promote your product while also serving them. So it's just marketing and sales.
So let's even take out the product. You talked about earlier how you think you believe you could help pretty much anyone become famous.
Yeah.
How do you I don't want to repeat on the same questions, but how do you serve? And you're really good at like bangers, where I've gone on your channels now and I've seen that you have hooks, you have headlines, you have stories that pop off. How are you able to like know those things?
So that's a misconception. Like, I don't know any of those things. But before you make a video, like, you need to have a goal.
Yeah.
Without any goal, you don't know where you're going. So first I establish my goal. Then I figured out how to reach such goal. I figure out how to reach that goal by looking at who has accomplished that goal. And for the most part, I copy their strategy. That's how every famous person in the world becomes famous, every single one. So there's such thing as following the leader. Most people are following followers.
Yeah.
And they try to replicate what all the followers are doing. But in reality, you want to follow the follower, or you want to follow the leader.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the leader is already at your point of destination.
Yeah.
So when you learn how to replicate what they've done, that's when you surpass the leader, you take your own path, and you can put way more authenticity into the things you do. But like as a creator, one of the first things you do is figure out like how the leaders got there in the first place and try to replicate it before you ever even try and do your own thing. Because it's not copying. You're just giving people what they want, and that's a good thing.
Also, on that topic, people who complain about copying are not smart, because copying has been around for years and years and years. But people, have you ever heard the term, like, you're never going to be better at Mr. Beast at being Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
You're never going to be better at being fill in the blank by copying them. So how do you copy what someone's done to succeed, but not like copy them completely where you're never
That's a great example.
create
So
your own wave?
people don't know this. Like, the first video Mr. Beast ever popped off on, he was giving like $10,000 to a homeless person.
Yeah.
It was not an original idea. Like, that had been done so many times. So think about how, when I say follow a leader, like, literally imagine following someone, like walking right behind someone. Are you going to follow them step by step, like identical? No, that's going to look freaking weird.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to go in the same direction. You're not going to be like, copy them step for step. You're going to look weird.
Yeah.
So you literally just want to go in the same direction. So it doesn't mean like copy word for word,
Okay.
but figure out what made it do good and give people what they want. Like, you don't have to be identical to them.
When you were doing the abandoned videos, was there someone that you copied?
So I was doing, when I was doing the abandoned videos,